Hi guys, how you doing? It is just gone 7 o'clock. The wee session this morning is just finished, and after chatting to a couple of the guys, they suggested I do a wee video to explain any unanswered questions that might be remaining regarding the type of the session ideas for the next block and beyond. So, and as I think it was Lynn pointed out, some people learn through writing, some people learn through reading, some people learn through sort of visual stuff and videos and actually just practically doing things. So she makes a great point. So I thought I'd just explain it. First of all, on a practical level, a few folk were asking or have been asking, like, can you swap about these, if you opt for the 4-session option, can you swap about between the Wednesday, the Friday and the Sunday? And yeah, you can do any one of the three. That's the whole idea, is to offer more flexibility for a start. So if you sign up to the gold package, as we've called it, you could, one week you can do Wednesday morning, but then maybe the next week it doesn't suit you, so you want to do your Friday night, and then another week you might want to do the Sunday. So it's completely flexible, you can do whatever you want. It's any one of those 3 days as your extra session. Obviously, I've told you that the High Rock session will be the sort of theme of the Friday night, and I understand that there is an appetite for that type of training, I get it. But one of the ideas that I've had in relation to the Sunday was because basically I'm trying to go back to basics, and I'm trying to go back to where it all began when I first started training folk 16 years ago, like especially in this group setting. It was 3 gym sessions a week. Anyone that started at the shed, even way back in 2011 or 2012, will also remember it was 3 indoor sessions, gym sessions a week, plus a Saturday morning run, and that was what it was. It was Monday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then people get out really excellent results. Obviously, like, it was before Instagram was born, and like, bit of social media, Facebook was just sort of taking off, and there was loads of before and after photos and all that sort of stuff. But that was the premise of the sessions. It was Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then it just got bigger and bigger, the whole thing. But anyway, it became at one point, I think we decided to take the Wednesday out, mainly because I think, like, I decided to start taking Wednesdays off. So one of the reasons it became an issue was that, like, if I wasn't there on a Wednesday, I think folk, because I was at the time seen as the face of the business, well, I suppose I'm the face of the business, people didn't come. So it just made more sense to just take the Wednesday off anyway, and that's what happened. But ultimately, like, when it comes to, like, making really good, serious transformations and all that, like, for me as a trainer who's been doing this nearly 20 years, 3 gym sessions a week, strength training sessions a week is the optimum. But we've not been able to offer that up until now because of the setup that they said we couldn't do certain nights. Friday nights were off limits, Saturdays and Sundays were off limits. So that's back on the table again. So that's one of the reasons, or one of the main reasons for being able to offer this. So the Sunday is going to almost complement the main sessions. Okay, so that's the idea. Like, in an ideal world, you train for 2. If you could, you'd either do 3 1-hour gym sessions a week, strength training sessions a week, or 2 90-minute sessions a week. Now, I've gone through a phase last year of doing 2 90-minute sessions a week, and although it's really effective, it's also really knackering, mentally and physically, to keep going for that extra half an hour, because if you're doing it properly and you're training at the right intensity, it's just really difficult. So 3 1 hours would be better, although it takes up a bit more overall time, I suppose. So that's the idea. So, for example, there's only so much you can fit into 2 1-hour sessions, particularly in a group format. You know what I mean? You've got your main fundamentals, foundational exercises that are pretty much vital to include. You've got your single leg movements, you've got your trap bar deadlifts, you've got your bench presses, you've got your RDLs, you've got some rotational movements that we can't even fit in that much because we're trying to prioritise other things. You've got your overhead presses, you've got your hip thrusts, so you've got your row variations, you've got your chin-ups. So there's loads of exercises that you need to keep doing weekly, and that's why there's a sort of repetitive nature to the sessions. You can't progress if you keep changing the workouts. Like, novelty is actually one of the biggest barriers to progress. Ironically, it's one of the sort of, I find it ironic sometimes when you see it as a selling point to classes. Oh, it's never the same workout twice, it's always dead varied. That's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. It shouldn't be always varied. Yeah, you could have variations on themes, which is something we try and do here as well, but you have to keep your foundational exercises, and the more able you become, the more elite you become in your field, the more repetitive it becomes. So, for example, your elite sprinters at the top, they'll do the exact same workout every week. It will not change. It'll be the same fairly mundane exercises, fairly mundane sessions because they work. Now, I understand none of us are elite sprinters and none of us are elite athletes. We're just wanting to train and feel better and get stronger. So a wee bit of novelty is important for retaining sort of like your attention. I get that. But my point is that you have to sort of keep the same exercises in. They have to be prioritised. In over 2 hours, it's quite difficult to squeeze every single thing in. And I try my best to do that, which is why the sessions have got so much in them. But in an ideal world, you'd have a third session. So that's my thinking behind the Sunday. I'd like to introduce a wee bit more of that on a Wednesday. I wouldn't necessarily like to keep the Wednesday exclusively Hyrox based, because as a trainer, it is not the best way to deliver the best results in the shortest amount of time. Yeah, it burns up calories. Yeah, it's good for getting you fit. Yeah, it's great mentally. But in terms of like actually physically changing your physique, developing strength, cardio doesn't do that. It just doesn't. And I think some people have a sort of confirmation bias when it comes to certain things because they enjoy them. And that's fine. Everyone's got that. But when it comes to scientific facts and what it is required to elicit the greatest changes in the quickest, most efficient amount of time in the longest sustainable way, it's strength training, and that will never change. So my idea on us for the Sundays, for example, would be to try and incorporate the things that we can't necessarily do in 2 sessions. So for example, let's suppose bench press isn't in one of the sessions on the Tuesday and the Thursday, or the midweek session A and session B, bench press could be in on the Sunday, or hip thrusts aren't in the session A and session B, now they can be in on the Sunday. So this is what I mean. It gives you the opportunity to make sure you get a lovely spread of all the different exercises that should be forming the foundation of any solid, proper strength training program, strength conditioning program. Okay, so that's I just thought I'd make this wee video because it was requested as maybe a good way to explain things in a bit more detail. So anyway, any questions about it though, of what to expect, let me know. Like I said, I'm going to put on a session a week on Sunday for you to experience it. But essentially it's going to be the closest thing you're going to get to another session A and B. Okay, so anyway, back